Hello and welcome to our video series on the resurrection of Jesus. In the previous episode, we saw that the resurrection is the best explanation of all the facts we know about Jesus: his crucifixion, death, burial, empty tomb, post-mortem appearances, and the origin of his disciples' belief in the resurrection. The question then is, why don't people believe in the resurrection of Jesus if the evidence is so strong? One of the major reasons why they don't believe is because of their philosophical bias against miracles. It is not that the historical evidence for the resurrection is weak. It's very strong indeed, as we have already seen in our earlier episodes. It's that they have ruled out miracles in advance. They arrive at the wrong conclusion because their bias makes it impossible for them to arrive at the right conclusion. You see, the truth of any historical event, particularly events allegedly a miracle, must be based on the context of the event. The evidence must be interpreted in light of the context in which it is found. And so, in order to determine the truth of any alleged miraculous historical event, the right question to ask is this: given the context, wouldn't it be reasonable to assume that the event was supernatural rather than natural in origin? The context makes all the difference. This is the case we have with the resurrection. It's not just that we lack a natural explanation for the empty tomb, for instance. It's that we have positive eyewitness and corroborating circumstantial evidence for the resurrection miracle. Now, here's the context in which we must evaluate the evidence for the resurrection. Firstly, the theistic nature of the universe makes miracles possible. While this is not the right time and place to give a detailed defense of theism, let me just say that the evidence for a theistic universe is so strong and compelling. I want to just list a few of them. The origin of the universe from nothing points to a theistic universe. The fine-tuning of the foundational aspects of the universe points to a theistic universe. The applicability of mathematics to the physical world points to the theistic universe. The presence of objective moral values and duties points to a theistic universe. In short, the evidence for a theistic universe is pretty compelling. Now, if that's the case, then the creator of the universe can enter into his creation as and when he wants, and even overpower the natural forces in operation, thus effecting a miracle. To be precise, if God exists, then miracles are possible. Also, God can use prophets to announce his messages and miracles to confirm them. That is, a miracle can be used to confirm the word of God through a man of God and to the people of God. So the bottom line is that the theistic nature of our universe makes miracles possible. Secondly, the Old Testament documents say miracles are to be expected. The Old Testament documents that are written hundreds of years in advance that predict that the Messiah, a man who would actually be called, would come, be killed at a specific time as a sacrifice for sinful humanity, and rise from the dead. Thirdly, historically confirmed eyewitness documents say miracles are actual. There are 27 New Testament documents written by 9 eyewitnesses or their contemporaries that describe numerous miraculous events. Now, many of these documents contain historically confirmed eyewitness testimony that goes back to the time of the events. And the evidence demonstrates that the narrative is not invented or embellished or the product of deception. How do we know this? We know this because the New Testament documents meet all the tests of historicity. The New Testament documents are early, well within 2 generations of the events. They contain eyewitness testimony. They contain independent eyewitness testimony from multiple sources. They describe events, locations, and individuals corroborated by archaeology and other writers as well. They also describe some events that enemies tacitly admit are true. We must also not forget that the collective references of other ancient historians and writers confirm the basic storyline of the New Testament documents, and several archaeological discoveries affirm the details those documents describe. Now, this is the context in which the miraculous resurrection must be assessed. Also, skeptics who deny the resurrection must provide evidence for an alternative theory that can account for all the basic facts concerning Jesus. As we have already seen, they have failed, and they have failed miserably. The resurrection best explains all of the evidence. And so, in sum, since there is a God who can act, there can be acts of God. When God's intention is announced in advance, and you then have good eyewitness testimony and corroborating evidence that such events actually took place, it takes a lot more faith to deny those events than to believe them. Thank you so much for watching. If you do have questions or comments, please let them know. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.